Welcome to Hours of Clarity Podcast, Ep.1, with my friend here, an alumni from Brentwood Recovery Home, and myself as well, Matt Hermes. And this is live night news. If you're a lot like me, then you might not like you radio. Welcome to Ep.1. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
Elon, and I've been here at Brentwood since I was 19 years old when I first came in. I just like to open up with a little prayer before we get started. Just ask God to, Heavenly Father, please bless this meeting, and I hope and I pray that the listeners out there may feel something in their hearts, or may have an answer, or may come to some kind of an understanding that we need each other, and only the alcoholic can help the alcoholic. So I just wanted to put that out there in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. That's something that I can fully agree with, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. A lot of my days are spent with routine provided from Brentwood. Before I came here, I was disheveled and didn't even understand that a different lifestyle and practice, like say saying your prayers and thank you for even being alive, right? Yeah. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Rick. I just wanted to ask you, first off, what in your life brought you to recovery?
So, prior to Brentwood, I was a lost child. Mm-hmm. I really was. I mean, there was a lot of trauma that happened to me. I blamed. I felt that I was the byproduct of society.
So basically, like, nobody could relate.
Nobody could relate, and nobody cared.
Right.
I didn't trust anybody. I left the house when I was very young.
How old?
I was 17 when I got kicked out, but I was pretty much gone by the time I was 15.
Yeah.
Running the streets and being defiant and not listening and being grounded. And, my parents, as much as they tried to guide me and counsel me, they couldn't.
Right.
They couldn't. I was full blown already by the time I was 15 years old into my disease. So my mother asked me to leave when I was 17. She said to me, if you don't like the rules here, there's the door.
Right.
And so, I thought my freedom was me leaving. I thought, that I'm free of this. I can do whatever I want. Right. I want my independence and my freedom. I'm a man, 17 years old, right? So I remember walking out the door with a bag on my shoulder, and everything I owned was in that bag, and I had no place to go, nowhere, there was no plan, right?
You didn't have a real plan, but your objective was?
My objective was see you later.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember looking back at my mother, and I felt like she had this look of content that he's finally gone,
Right.
And that's where things really went awry at that point,
Taking control of your own path, let's say.
Well, yeah.
What does freedom represent today as a comparison to what you thought freedom was then?
Well, what I thought freedom was then was to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Right.
And, freedom today is, so much different. I mean, obviously, it's my peace and my freedom comes from letting people in, from serving, from being there for others, for asking for help.
Right.
That was my biggest thing as a kid, that I didn't know who to go to.
Or even what to ask for.
Or what to ask for,
right.
Exactly.
I can relate to that,
right?
Yeah.
And so I came to Brentwood because my girlfriend at the time, we had been living together for a couple years, and we had gotten into an argument, and she chose to move back home. And her mother was in AA, and her father was at Brentwood. He was on program on Riverside Drive.
Okay. That was the first house?
Yep.
Okay.
So I thought I would go there and manipulate Bob on how to get my girlfriend back, right? So they caught the play all the way.
Of course.
They knew what I was doing. So he says, well, come and see me tomorrow at Brentwood on a Monday, right? So I walked into Brentwood, and I had my back up against the wall, and you talk about fear. So much fear and anxiety, and all I want is Bob, right? And these men are coming up, and so this one man in particular that I'll never forget, his name is Mike. I won't mention last names, but Mike M. Asked me for a one-on-one, and I didn't know what a one-on-one was. And because of my past, I'd been molested in my past. There was a lot of, my whole world exploded when I left the house, right? And I thought, what's this guy want from me, right? A one-on-one. I thought I was getting my ass beat or something else.
Yeah.
Right? So,
what's your angle?
What's your angle? So we had a one-on-one, and he shared about what he had done to his wife. And I swore it was a conspiracy. I thought everybody knew what I had done to my girlfriend, because it was, our stories were identical.
So random, but he's telling you what you like. Yeah, I can relate to that first coming in here.
Exactly.
I'm hearing my own different stories from all these different people,
Yes.
and the concept of freedom from another man doing that, coming up and caring about you, sharing his open feelings.
Never in my life felt that kind of care from anybody.
Right. So did you eventually get to Bob?
Yeah. So I never did get to see Bob. What happened was the reality of that it was me.
Yeah.
I'm the alcoholic.
Yeah.
I need help. Hit me in that moment, and I ran.
Oh my.
And because it was overwhelming.
You couldn't accept it either, right?
Oh,
It's too
no,
much.
my whole world was all about, look at what they did. Look what my mother did. Look at what, the
Yeah,
the
it's just, you
society.
don't know what I went through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me, hi,
Yeah.
poor me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you don't even know what self-pity is in those moments, right?
No.
Like stuck in this shame-blame game of
No,
deflect, evade, create, justify, right?
Yeah.
I could feel you. Yeah.
Tarred and feathered with it.
And you were what, 17 at that time?
I was 19.
19, okay. Yeah.
So I ran that day, and that long bus ride home was enough. He had
Yeah.
planted the seed inside of me,
Yeah.
and I knew I needed help. I came back the next day, came and seen Father, and Father put me with the men.
That's
And-
Father Paul Charbonneau. Right?
Yeah, and that's where all things started.
What a beautiful sight.
Yeah, I mean, that was 42, going on 42 years ago.
So you
Next year.
graduated 19, 20 years old, right?
I was 20.
And
yeah.
you've been in recovery now for how many years?
I've been in recovery for 42 years, with a few that hasn't been solid recovery, right?
Right.
But
Now let's look at the facts of now. I've been 9 months ago. I came to Brentwood.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on here. My one-on-one with you, would you tell me? You need to listen more. You can say, and 2 weeks left in my program. That's all that rung in my head. You were a pivotal point in my recovery, a pillar and a foundation of breaking through this mind as a concept of even 10 weeks in, I was still sitting there going, yeah, but this is what I was like. This is how my life went. You don't really know.
you don't understand
Right.
what happened to me.
What was it, 15 minutes into a 20-minute, let's say, one-on-one kind of thing? Because, it's not a scheduled time frame, but in the mornings they do that. They have a routine for us through program. They set the one-on-one so guys that are forced in a way, not forced, but they kind of pair you up. And that's how you break through those walls, right? Having another guy compare with your life and the spirituality of it just opens up. And that's the case of freedom in my world. You gave me that, like, I need to listen. I'm looking at a guy that I respected, see you come back every day as an alumni to give back to the people, right? And I see this. I see that with many others too. There's been pivotal points in my life with other alumni around here, but we talked about something after my graduation about my listening. And it affected my program to a point where I could finally hear another man instead of just hearing it and comprehending it.
Just like me.
Yeah. And it's like I'm seeing another shell of another human being that walked in a different path, but they're the same feelings.
And that's what's so special about Brentwood, right?
Yeah.
When they say only the alcoholic can help the other alcoholic, it's 100%.
I
fact.
could not, I'm getting chills. I could not understand that when I first came here. I couldn't. I wasn't aware, to break down those blinders and have a feeling of I'm not alone. Like I knew other people cared enough to say, how's your day going? Or, relate to the stories or not let
Yeah.
you leave,
I
right?
spent my whole life comparing.
How many guys on program when you were back then, when you were here?
Oh, there used to be 200 to 250.
Yeah, I heard Father had even taken
Well,
people
when I
out of
first
prison.
started, there was 23 men
Right.
on program when I first came to Brentwood.
That was at the first house.
It was at the first house, and then we went to a school, and then we ended up at Brentwood, here
Right.
where we're at now.
And that's with Jim and Kay Ryan as well got involved.
Jim and Kay were pivotal.
Right.
I mean, they were Father Paul's right-hand people.
Yeah.
And they dedicated and donated their lives to this cause because they could see the good in it.
Right.
This place, if you think about it, we come in here broken and sick and suffering and in fear and no trust for anything. We've got darkness in our eyes, darkness in our hearts. We're dead inside. And within a 3-month period, we're alive. We got shine in our eyes. Our hearts are open. It's the first time in my life that I loved, that I learned how to love.
Yeah.
Was through loving the other alcoholic.
And having them have compassion for you.
I remember my first one-on-one where I sat across from a guy in the back actually here, and I remember talking to a guy. Actually, no, it was on Riverside Drive, right by the river, and we cried. I cried for his suffering because I understood his suffering. Finally, we could be understood. Where nobody could understand us. I finally had a man that understood me.
So in a way, it opened you up.
It opened me. I shared all of my everything with these guys, at the very beginning. All of my secrets, all of my inventories.
So you see secrets and inventories, right? And they talk about that in, like, say, step 4 of the 12-step program, and then, step 5, admitting to another person in your higher power as you see them, and getting all those secrets out, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the fears inventories, the sexual inventories, the miscellaneous ones. You got your resentments, and you have all of those things, right? So in a way, we're doing exactly those things, but through other alcoholics, through other addicts that have the same exact issues, but in different circumstance.
We all come here from different walks, but
Yeah.
we all feel the same.
How did one-on-ones really internally open you up to a concept you knew you can let go of them? Let's say,
100%, man.
because I see you today. You're still having them. You still grab the new guys,
Yeah.
right? And
They're my salvation. I mean,
Father's
talking
last
to the
message.
guy, right?
Father's last message. You know.
Well, if we were given a gift, I was given a gift. I'll speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was given a gift of sobriety, of understanding, suffering. Not that I'm getting religious, but I do believe in Jesus.
Yep.
But Jesus came to this earth for that very reason. He didn't come here, to just change everybody. He came here for the sick and suffering
Right.
and broken. That's why he came here.
Right.
And he came here to heal them and to basically take them out of their bondage.
Yep.
Is what he did. Well, we do the same exact thing.
That's right. Well, hey, like, let's look at the program, for instance. No reading, right? No writing until you get to week 5 in inventories and stuff like that, and you got to do the thing with the group leader and whatnot, and then share those, whether the direction is in group or with a one-on-one or just with the group leader himself, type of thing. But there's no reading or writing. You don't have the newspaper. And the father was a priest, says no Bibles. Not even his own form of religion, because he wants all cultures, all ethnicities, anyone from any background, right?
It's a spiritually based program
For us.
for us.
And that's the thing, any walk of life. You can be Muslim, you can be
Doesn't matter where
Christian,
you
you
come
can be
from.
Roman. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you come from. They're white, brown, yellow, purple,
We're all
green.
alcoholics.
Right, exactly.
We all have that in common.
That alcoholism is something that's now kind of recognized through, say, like the disability in government, right? Like
They look at it as a mental health issue.
Right, mental health issues. So we're going to get down to the facts of, I wasn't aware of an outcome for me, like a resolution. So it's for me, it was psychiatrist. I need a pill for ADHD, or I need a pill for PTSD, anxiety pill, stress pill, or blood pressure pill, whatever it may be. And then I come here and I find myself to be able to do this with you. And I feel lighter. I feel more enlightened. I get some sort of a concept that you love me, right? And without even knowing me. So as a movement in recovery, one-on-ones are simply a form of compassion, because other people that have been here longer realize when you walk in, I need drugs. I can't live without the booze. I'm withdrawing, or, and we say those things.
Mm-hmm.
I need this to get through my day.
Yeah, we thought we were addicted.
Right.
We weren't addicted to the substance. The substance is 5%. I was addicted to lack of trust. I was addicted to
Fears.
Fear, the biggest one.
That was my thing.
I was full of fear when I came here. I was also diagnosed with all of the alphabet, we'll say. I had every ism that you can think of.
Except we didn't know what alcoholism was.
And I remember coming to see Father and telling him, well, Father, they told me I got to take, this is what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
He looked at me and says, you're an alcoholic. Go get with the new man. Go get with the men, right?
Yeah.
And that has been the answer. That
Yeah.
was always the answer. I lived a life of isolation.
Right.
I could be in a group of 100 people, but be the most loneliest alone man in that group, right? Full of fear, judging. What does he think of me? What does she think of me?
Yeah.
Why can't I fit in? My whole life, I couldn't find my inner self. I come to a place like this, I get my garbage out.
Yeah.
My inventories, I'm free. I remember walking out of Brentwood after 3 months. I remember walking into the sunlight in June 8th, I walked out. And I remember feeling like all of my past, all of who I was, and was, that was the magic word.
Right.
And I remember throwing this cloak off of me, this make-believe, heavy black cloak.
Realizing
with all
today.
my inventories.
Yeah.
And I took a step forward into the sunlight. I bawled my eyes out.
Isn't it weird how those moments, because I had them in the shower leaving here, they put me in transitional housing, allowed me 6 months to recoup and get my life together through navigators, helped me with my resume. Guys like you would point me in the right direction, giving me new guys to work with, just being able to help and finding some sort of a path and a purpose, right?
Yeah.
And they helped me with that. So allowing me to transition back into my life, and I'm still at the beginning of this, right? I just moved into a dry house. You've lived in a dry house before?
No.
No, okay, but many others have, right?
Yeah.
With direction, they help you build your life back up. You know, how many people have met people here for with employment? Well, a guy will come in and he owns a business. He's meeting one or two people need help. Come roof with me, or come pour concrete, or maybe I could use you at this place or that factory or whatever, right? Even volunteering here, picking up some sort of a meaning and purpose, right?
Yeah.
So I find that with guys like you returning and coming back and delivering Father's message, you know, give what you've gotten and to the new guy. Keep giving it and giving back.
That is the recipe.
How much better has your life gotten? Like you have children, right?
I have 3 boys, they're all grown.
Right.
My kids are offering up their children the same gift that was given to me, because I gave it to my kids.
There you go.
So now my kids, they have Brentwood in their hearts.
Right.
They have this, right?
Because your
And
piece gets passed
so,
now.
Yeah, so my generation was busted when I came here.
Right.
I was the link that changed it all. Well, God was.
For your
but-
family, right?
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, so, you know, my kids have this. I've been married for 39 years. I've got a steady job. I've been at it now on this one for 28. I'm going to retire from it in another 3 years.
What
couple
more
years.
can you ask for?
I mean, but it's not even about that kind of the material thing.
Right.
It's the connection that I have in here.
You can bring positivity to work. You bring it to your family.
All I ever wanted was to be able to love somebody. I couldn't love people, not anybody.
What was the inability concept there? The alcoholism.
Inability to love or be loved.
Right.
That's
So-
our problem. That's
and
the bottom
to
line.
not even realize it, like me saying I love my children. I haven't been there for my kids. I haven't been a father for many years because I've been disheveled in and out of, you know.
Right,
like-
so how can you say you love your children?
But I did.
We
I
didn't
used
know
to
what
say
it
I
was.
didn't even know what it was.
Our concept
Concept
of love.
was fix me, love me, I care about me. Can you give to me so I can feel better? No one can make me feel anything. I realize these days I have to have a concept. And you said to me, you speak from your heart. Get this connected with this. And then listen to your gut, because your heart will lead you straight and your mind will always
And
play
trust
tricks on you. And trust it. So I don't know where this is headed. I don't know what this is going to bring to us, but like anything that becomes of it is going to be donated to a better concept of life, right? So it's going back to Brentwood. This episode here, any donations will go to Brentwood Recovery Home. And that's the foundation of it, because I don't need anything. You don't need anything. I have everything I need through my recovery plan, through my program, because of
This
you
is
guys.
just another vessel for me to give back.
Exactly.
It's
So
an opportunity.
the community, let's say, people out there suffering. I was just like that, homeless, running the streets, not knowing where to go, withdrawing, sick from
Fear.
ingestion.
Fear.
Right. So, and full of fear, not knowing who to turn to, where to go. I waited 4.5 months. How can I say that I need drugs for that day when there's detox and withdrawal management? There's a place to go. There's things in the community that those people can get resources of. It's our choice whether we take the crutch, we'll call it, the withdrawal management, whether it's Sublocade, Suboxone, methadone, or whatever they have out there, and then even weaning off of the drugs and detoxing to go to a detox to get into the program. Like there's Windsor, Essex County, Chatham Detox. We got hand-in-hand support. We have all sorts of, what is it, the other ones
If
out?
you want it,
Yeah.
it's here for you.
Right? So no matter what, I can't say that I'm not going to use while I'm on withdrawal management. Like I could take the methadone and still go out and do what I want, because I'm not ready. I'm not ready to change here. This is still controlling me. I have no connection to my heart, the inability to even care about anything else.
I was looking for this.
Yeah, choosing drugs over my kids or alcohol over my kids. Now you're a father. 28 years you say you worked. And you're getting ready to retire at some point. You've been in recovery for, almost 30 some odd years?
42 years.
42 years, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah,
That's
they're
a lot
just
of
numbers. I mean,
thank you.
every day
24
is, I get up in the morning, I do my commitments, I ask God for help.
Yeah.
And it's through people. Life is about asking.
What's the first thing that we realize here, or about ourselves? I know for me, speaking on my own opinion, is I didn't like people, I thought. So these thoughts pop in my head all the time, saying like, I don't want to be around. Oh, I'm scared. They'll never understand. All the fears, anxieties
Look at our
come.
topic this week. Ask,
Right.
listen, and do as you're told.
3 rules of program. How simple.
Simple, but
Yeah.
it's
Come in, what am
very
I- what am I, a
difficult
kid?
for the other alcoholic, for all of us.
Right.
Ask, listen, and do as we're told. And I couldn't ask for anything. I felt that you were a sheep if you asked.
Right.
You don't go and ask. You're a man. You got to be a man. You got to know.
I should be able to figure this out.
I should be able to do it by myself.
Never
I don't
could.
need people.
Right.
That was my motto.
I'm glad that you're here, Rick, because there's a major point to alumni returning to give back. And that's just simply allowing that person to feel how they feel, get through. And I had a hard time accepting that in my program. Like, that guy's where he's at. I still get bits of it, eh? They say dose of happiness and your life will have successions. Every time I get a small realization, I'm like, oh, okay, I get that a little bit more. I got to hold
But
on
that
to
could
it.
be said about us too, eh?
Yes,
That's where
100.
that guy's at.
Exactly. So I look at examples now. I can see I want to be where Rick's at, let's say. And I look down at the guy, not as in like I look down at him, but I'll look back and I'll see another person struggling. And I'm like, I remember I was there. You know, I never had the
So
concept.
what are you
of that.
saying?
I'm saying that I need to help that guy. I
You
need
need
to
to help that guy, but we all grow in stages.
Right.
We all grow, years served, like Father said, if you put your heart and your soul truly into this program,
Right.
you are 100%. Like there ain't too many places out there that can give you a guarantee like that.
Right.
But if you do this, you are given 100% that your life will change.
Right.
That you will change.
Yeah, the direction of. So they're bouncing my ideas off of another alumni. And then if it's a major decision, I get to go to a program director and I get to sit down with the man that is in control of, let's say, the men's program and guiding other souls. And he gets to tell me, maybe you should do this with your life and he's open to it. Yeah, I have a meeting coming up with Mark, and I get to sit down with him just to get some direction before I take a trip home to see my grandmother on her 100th birthday. Mm-hmm. That woman's seen 100 years of life, and I'm nervous because other people will be drinking there, and that's my family. I haven't seen them in 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. Like those are the people that have given me my morals and showed me a way of living. And as a young alcoholic, I never listened to anyone. So the ask, listen, do as you're told thing, right? I come in, what am I, child? That's what I first think. And then, to be honest, in terms of what, share, confide, consult, it ends up being a trusting thing where they've given me do this, ask, listen, do as you're told, and my life got better. I get transitional housing, I get a job, I get to say do this. There's in support of the podcast that we're having right now, the idea of, right? Giving back to social media platforms so anyone out there can understand that there is hope for guys like us, that we have found something.
I came right from the streets. I was broken.
Right.
There was no life left in me. I was such a young guy. What a waste, I didn't have to go my whole life. I was fortunate that I came here young,
I got that realization.
But I'm so grateful, that I feel useful today. I have a purpose in life,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm giving back. I mean, I never gave back to anything. I never loved anybody,
Right.
Who did I love? I didn't love my kids. I didn't love my wife.
Could you look in the mirror and even love yourself at that
I didn't
point?
love anything.
Right.
And who do I love today?
Right.
I mean, I try to love whoever God puts in my moment.
Right. And doing other people's will.
And doing the will of others.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
God works through people. We all know that.
Right.
And the opportunities are always there to grow.
It's kind of weird because when you say God works through people, and I always used to isolate, why is my brain having a conflicting battle, inside myself, and I got to disagree or agree with those thoughts that pop in temptation, like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to do this. Well, that's not something I woke up and planned. These thoughts are popping in my head as the day goes on. I have a little bit of awareness today because of Brentwood. I have a little bit of love in my heart today because of Brentwood. I have a little bit of friendships, and they can understand the connection and compassion, right? A little bit. So I just hold on to them little bits and grow in stages, like you were saying. So you're not wrong by any means for doing the right thing. That's our meaning and purpose, I find. And they give that to you.
I think about what does a new man need? What is a guy that's living on the street? He's homeless.
Yep.
He's desperate. He doesn't know where to turn.
We have an example of the guy at the train tracks there about 9 months ago. A man came on the property. He was looking disheveled. He had, I think, one shoe on, and his coat was off. It was winter time, and I'm on program, and I'm looking over, and nobody got mad. They all surrounded him, went and helped him. They got him clothes from the donation bin, gave him
got him some food.
Pack of cigarettes. They went and got him food. They called him a taxi and brought him to a safe shelter.
They loved him.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it because I was in awe. I'm going, wow.
And that's what
this building has to offer for, let's say, even putting 60 men under a roof and teaching them what we're learning, right?
Well, again, if you want help, if you're out there and you're suffering, your answers are here. And what's nice about that is we understand. all those times, that I thought nobody understood. You don't understand, but you don't understand.
Right.
And to find out that, the people here do understand and we want to help. There's no angles. There's no locks on the doors. You leave.
Not in control.
If you want to change and you're sick and tired of living the way you've been sick and tired, there is a way out. And I guess if anything, I hope this podcast will reach out to those souls that see it and go, you know what? I want to change. I want help. And that's all it takes is the willingness to go, I want to change. You know, I want to do something different. And I'm telling you, man, wife, kids, friends, work, every material thing I could ever think of, you know, that doesn't even mean anything to me, the material things. It's to have somebody that could look at me in my eye and appreciate me for who I am. Okay? So,
That's why you're my brother today. That's why you're my brother today.
yeah.
You couldn't have said it any more beautifully, because I've been given back these things. You know, the connections with family. I got to meet another daughter I found out about on my graduation day, of all things. So it's like I get little bits and pieces back. Conversations with my kids here and there. I'm far away from them, but at the same time, it's look at the family. You said you're married for 2.5 decades almost? Or
39 years.
39. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said 29.
Yeah, no,
but
39, my kids are growing gone.
Right, and
I
without
got grandchildren now.
without recovery, we would have been just sideways.
I would have been dead.
Thank you. I didn't want to kind of.
I would have been dead. I mean, the way I was living, hanging out with bikers, I was interested in that life.
Right.
You know, it just...
And the belief concepts, eh?
Yeah.
Solid, in the persona of, you know, I got to be this, I got to do that, and then shelling up everything, putting blankets over me. Like they call it an onion here, removing layers slowly, eh? And feeling more free, more free, more free. An onion, I'm going when I get here, like, come on. Like, I'm just listen to as you're told. And then other guys guiding you through the rules. Like, they don't even post them. They allow people to help you.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I really do need people.
Miracles happen here in Brentwood.
It's unreal. It honestly is. And like anybody that knows me from where I've come from that's going to be watching this can be a testament to exactly what my life was like in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And now I'm in Windsor, Ontario, and I feel like I have a meaning and a purpose and brotherhood and fellowship. That's unreal to me.
You brought this.
Well, for instance, let's just say that.
And let's get it out there.
I appreciate you. And listen, Rick, we're going to continue this another time, but I love you very much. And this is Hours of Clarity, live to live night news, to be continued, concluded now. Have a great day, folks. And I hope...
God bless.
God bless. I just wanted to say one more thing before we sign off here, that if there is anyone that feels like they would like to donate to a good cause, all donations will come through Hours of Clarity and PayPal account and directed immediately through channels to the Brentwood Recovery Home for this episode. So any donations is non-for-profit will head to Brentwood in fundraising or some other social community.